everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a truly amazing weekend. If you haven't watched the Chicken and Garden update, go watch it now, because it's one that's filled with optimism instead of snow and ice and horrible things. It feels like spring is trying to arrive, albeit a little bit early, but it's nice and reasonably warm today. It's like 10, 12 degrees Celsius. I'm out here, not in a coat, but in like a very, very thin jacket, hoodie thing, and I'm not cold. So this is incredible. This is nice. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk to you about today. And because there's a massive cloud coming, which is why I'm filming this on Tuesday instead of later in the week, because it's going to rain for the rest of the week. Let's get on with our topic of today, which is all about charging. But first, I do want to thank those of you who took part in the comments last week for the video about your dealer experiences and how your dealers are doing. It was pretty much as I expected it to be. There were a few surprises here and there, but generally, yeah, your experiences are in line with everybody else's that I've heard. Nothing really truly surprising. I know there were a few surprises, but they were generally like, oh yeah, no, I can understand after thinking about it why that dealership might have said X, Y, and Z, or why you didn't know about something because it was an area where there's been a lot of sales and the sales staff are not very well trained because there's a high churn rate or whatever. I'm not making excuses. The industry has to be better. Today, though, I want to talk to you about your charging experiences. How generally is your charging experience? Because look, we hear a lot in the news about Tesla superchargers in Chicago just freezing up and not working. And Kate made a really good video on that last week, which you should totally go and watch if you haven't, on the main channel. But we also hear about people, like often journalists, who take an electric car from a manufacturer who doesn't give them any, information about the car. They take it for a long distance drive. They're not prepared. They absolutely fail. It's a complete nightmare. And then you hear, oh, electric vehicles are difficult to own and you can't charge them and they don't work and blah, 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 blah. So I would love to know what your actual real world charging experiences have been like in the last 12 months on a day-to-day basis, but also on a daily driving long distance trip occasionally kind of basis. So most people don't do long distance trips every day, but most people do, a couple of long distance trips a year. So I want to know what your daily experience is like. Are you like M and you don't have charging at home and you end up charging it at work, which is what M does. M charges here and then has a battery pack that's reasonably well charged for the next day. Or are you someone who charges at home every day and you have this really wonderful, very easy, simple charging experience because you intentionally purchased a charging station that didn't have any additional features and wasn't internet connected? I know a lot of you were frustrated by the video we made on the NLX charging stations by going, well, why do you need all of that stuff? You should have just bought a basic charging station. And yeah, maybe we should have done. But if you have a very basic charging station, how has it been? Has it been reliable? Or, like many people I've heard from, has it been reliable for a couple of years and then suddenly the component breaks or something breaks and you can't get a spare part and then you have to go and buy another one? Or maybe you have a smart charging station that has all of the bells and whistles that mine do and you've actually managed to have no problems at all with it. Tell me about your experiences with that. The other thing I want to know is your experiences at fast charging stations. I know some people watching this are Tesla owners and you will exclusively use the Tesla supercharger network. But I also think it's pretty disingenuous to imply that Tesla owners only ever use the Tesla supercharger network, because there are large parts of North America where there are no Tesla superchargers within a particular major highway or freeway. And if you just happen to live in just the right place, maybe the nearest Tesla supercharger to you is either right at the limit of your car's range, and so you'd need to leave with a full battery pack, or maybe it's on a different road and you really don't want a dog leg just to go to a Tesla supercharger, so you end up going to a CCS charging station instead. What is that like for you? And if you are in Europe, where everybody uses the same charging standard, what an idea. That's fantastic. Tell me what your experiences are like there. Maybe you are somebody who is a non-Tesla owner who makes use of Tesla supercharger sites because they're more reliable. Or maybe you prefer to use a different network because they are lower cost, or I don't know, maybe you like going to the GridServe charging stations in the UK where they have like an M&S and they have a food hall and they have a Costa coffee and you just want to go there and relax. By the way, shout out to some of you who are like, oh, the next time you go see your mum, let us know because we live in the area. That's very kind of you. I don't know if I ever will do any quote unquote meetups when I'm on the road, especially in today's politically charged environment. I'm kind of very wary of going out on my own and bumping into people or going out to meet people. But I will say, earlier this week, I bumped into a lovely couple, not literally, but Kate, Walton, Elliot and I were up filming in Washington, and we bumped into a couple of people who watch the channel. So hello, I'm afraid I forgot your names, but you were lovely and you were driving a Chevy Bolt and you were just joyous. You were just joyous to be around. So thank you. It was really cool to watch and to talk to you and hear about your exploits. But yeah, charging experiences. The other thing I want to know about is this. See, there was a reason I put the camera on my truck. When you're using a CCS charger, how do you find it? Is it too heavy? Is it difficult for you to physically plug in? And if it is difficult, why do you find it difficult? Is it the weight? Is it the length of the cable? Does your car have a weird charging port in a weird place? Maybe you have the same issue with a Tesla connector. Maybe you just find that the Tesla cables are too short and you really struggle to plug in your car because your car has a different charging port location if you're in Europe, or if you're in North America, maybe you have a Tesla and you just don't like backing up to the charge port because you always miscalculate it or something. Tell me about your real world charging experiences. Because I think what we hear in the media versus what we hear from you guys is going to be very different. I was thinking the other day about, all the different trips that I've made in a Diratal, my F-150 Lightning, since purchasing it in 2022. And I have driven all the way to Southern California multiple times. I've driven up to Canada. I've driven across the country twice. Sadly, I will no longer be driving to Utah. If you are not into politics, don't get angry with me, but I'm basically now illegal in Utah. Thanks, Utah. But when I've been doing these kind of road trips, honestly, the successful to unsuccessful charging experiences have been not so bad. Like, most of the time the charging has worked. Sometimes we've had a hiccup and we've been able to fix it and just get back on the road pretty quickly. But for the most part, we haven't had any major, nasty, egregious errors. The only one I can really think of was when we were towing to Colorado and we had a charging station that was down and we had to kind of crawl up a hill while towing a car. But it was okay because the hill that we were towing up, really, really big hill, up in the Dales, that hill was a construction zone and they had like a maximum speed limit of like 20 or 30 miles an hour, and it was single lane traffic and no one was going above 20. And I was looking at the gasometer for the truck going, well, it's kind of useful because I wouldn't have got to my destination had I not been able to drive that slowly. But for the most part, my charging experiences have been pretty positive. And irritations at charging stations normally have to do with locations of where the charging station is in relation to the charge port on my vehicle, or how difficult it is to get into the charging space if you're in a big pickup truck, or if you're towing when you have a trailer on. And I know that's something that a lot of Tesla owners do quite regularly, tow. And so I'd love to know how that experience is for you on a daily basis. So yeah, share your real world day-to-day charging experiences. And by the way, if the weather has impacted your range a lot lately, let us know in the comments below about that. I know that M, for example, has been getting under 2 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm laughing because I can't even believe it, but I've actually seen it on their car. M is getting less than 2 miles per kilowatt hour right now because we've had such cold weather and such heavy rain, and that has absolutely hammered their efficiency on the freeway for their 75, 80 mile round trip here every day. So I feel really sorry for them. But anyway, tell me your experiences, and of course, I will be back next week. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them below in our Discord chat room, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of the more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and making sure that we can be 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for, from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, about $10.08 per year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters: Tantalus A. Bond, Michael Baker, Christopher Lawrence, David J. Stober, Noah Tutak, and Ian Hoffman. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your week of fame. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at, address also below. And if you're in need of some swag, you'll find our swag store in the down below. This month, we're celebrating electric for everyone with an amazing new t-shirt design by our in-house artist and animator, Erin. Get yours today by heading to our Redbubble store. We've got some fantastic content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you very soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we all think that this one is also well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving.